Hello, Professor and classmates. Tonight, I'm going to present a slide presentation for innovation in cybersecurity frameworks. I'll take in consideration the NOC Incorporated as my example for cybersecurity framework. As it was listed in the assignment requirement, the student should choose one model out of the three presented models. I decided to proceed with the NOC ISC model. I'll start with the framework based on the given information, also based on the vision, mission, and values of NOC Incorporated and my role as a CISO. I decided that the NIST framework is the best procedure to follow up securing, protecting data. Since NOC INC deals with the lead elite of motor vehicle manufacturer, domestic and international, it should follow procedures that falls under the category that complies with the local and international laws and regulations to protect the intellectual property and not to be a victim of unauthorized information disclosure as it was happened before. Security framework compliance, as I mentioned in the previous slide, the NIST procedures that we chose and how it is going to set boundaries and the practices for the establishment actions. I also want to shed the light on the consequences that might occur in case of not complying with it. Failure to comply with the NIST requirement will certainly lead to legal liabilities and possible financial and restriction penalties. Restriction might lead to business closure. Getting into that stage will ruin the company's reputation and should keep new customers think twice before they hire NOC Incorporated to run their business. Finally, we all know that big contracts sponsored and funded by big stakeholders such as government are very important, and failure to comply with the NIST protocol might result banning the establishment from getting access to the government-wide area workflow system, which is known by the WAF, and this is a cost that no one wants to bear. The NIST procedure, I'll start by defining the NIST as the National Institute of Standard and Technology at the U.S. Department of Commerce. Then I would like to shed the light on the NIST cybersecurity framework and how it helps all sides of and types of businesses to understand, manage, and reduce their cybersecurity risk and protect their networks and digital assets. The next slide will demonstrate the main 5 stages of framework and how it acts. Let's start with identify, protect, detect, and respond. And next to it, there is a definition on each stage. In my own words, identify is the first stage that enables users to identify the threat that might attack their network. Then protect, after identifying the threat, here comes the stage that can apply the NIST framework and protect data. Detect is the stage when the system detects a possible threat based on the identification standard that was mentioned and set in stage 1. Respond, this is the take action stage to react against threats that will detect. Recover, after taking an action in response to the threat detection in the previous stage, the framework will develop activities to restore regular system capabilities into normal operation status. Why we use security framework? As it was described and given in the information paper, that NOC was a victim of multiple attacks and incidents such as unauthorized disclosure of corporate information, spear phishing, regular phishing, and social engineering attack. So there is a new policy that we will implement and will apply to all employees without exceptions, starting by training and increasing the cyber awareness of the employees and contractors at all levels, also having stronger grip on the access control and giving minimum requirement access to employees based on their needs only, and continuous follow-up and for these actions in monitoring the logs and records at all levels. To apply previous actions, entire system need to be reconfigured from default configuration, which is a disaster, to custom configuration that matches and fit the need of the establishment in specific. And next action will be applying the NIST framework stages. Applying the NIST frame stages start by identification. In order to grant or deny any access to the system, we need to first identify the identity of the user that is trying to connect or gain access to the system. And there is a multiple ways to double check, such as the multi-factor authentication method. Protection: each establishment should have tailored security policy that is designed to protect the digital asset of the company, whether they are on hard drives, servers, even on cloud storages, and procedure to react in case of any threat detection. Applied NIST framework can be in multiple stages, such as respond and recover. Response: we know after detecting any possible threat, the default and present procedure need to be followed to mitigate any risk or threats, and will be include personal security and all measures and standards. Recover: this terminology refers to bringing back the establishment or the system to a certain level of performance that it was on before happening of the attack. And it's good to be mentioned that the maintenance is one of the key factors to keep the system healthy and up and running in a proper shape. Other security aspects to be considered is the physical security measures. The establishment physical access need to be monitored, controlled. Permission should be given based on the least access privilege to avoid any unnecessary vulnerabilities. Security system assessment: this is very important. This system needs to be tested by attack simulation at least once each quarter. That means 4 times a year. To ensure the readiness of the proactivity, these simulations should scan for these vulnerabilities and being able to discover and report these weak points. This scan includes testing of all types of connections and communication nodes within the network or with external clients. Individual element identification: I'll ask myself this question: how to manage threats and vulnerabilities? As I was disclosed in the attached statement, that NOC was a victim of multiple attacks, as we mentioned before. So here comes the policy that I'm trying to enforce. All employees should follow strict security practices of not clicking any email from unknown sender, nor clicking any attachment without getting it tested by anti-phishing software. Active Directory managers should apply strict group policy and the mail servers to ban any suspicious emails from getting through, and always schedule regular backups to ensure compatibility and data availability. Ensuring system readiness by making sure that the system is up to date and applying data encryption and controlling access by applying multi-factor authentication to ensure data integrity. Encryption is good just in case the data get intercepted, so nobody can take use of it. These two actions were set to stand against the phishing and spear phishing attacks in sequence, and these actions comes in compliance with the NIST standards. Privacy principles: the main security principles that every establishment is worried about is the CIA triad plus the authenticity. We all know the CIA triad is considered of confidentiality, integrity, availability, and the authenticity is a very essential aspect to shed the light on in this process and aspect. Finally, I would like to shed the light on regulatory and legal standards. As I listed in previous slides and in the beginning as well, applying the NIST framework within the establishment will have a positive impact on all levels and aspects, such as enhancing the security levels, ensuring better security practices, and have better performance and indeed better reputation, and a chance to expand business into bigger government projects. Failure to comply with the NIST standards will lead to void all the positive and promising opportunities I listed above, plus flagging your business to be unprofessional and non-security standard compatible. This slide will include all the references that I researched to do all my work in this slideshow. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.